Hey, welcome back to the podcast. What if I told you today we're going to unpack some video strategies and growth strategies with a young guy who 6 years ago gets into real estate, sitting right to my left at the summit. He did 36 transactions his first year, 83 the next, 140 the next, then started a team, grew to 200, then 239. And this year we'll sell 333 transactions. We want to talk about that growth. But ladies and gentlemen, Maryland super team leader, Phil Gerdes in the house.
Thank you.
What's up, man?
Having fun, man. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Dude, and I like the casual look. I'm busting your chops on that.
I know.
Hey, I really want to talk specifically today about the December Mastermind we did.
Yeah.
It was an intense couple days, right?
It was. Yeah.
And everybody was super open, super honest, super revealing. But I want to know, and the listeners want to know, like, what was the takeaway? What was the action? And then what was the result?
Okay. First off, takeaway was be yourself. Like that was really the kicker, right? Be yourself.
Yeah.
Really dive into who you are and what you want to share with the masses.
Yeah.
Right. Offer the value, but offer it from your perspective. Don't try and be something or someone else.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you say be yourself, were you not being yourself before on video? Because you've been doing video for a long time, Phil. So
I was being myself, and I've always been myself. But there's also always been this part that I said, no, I don't want to really share that part.
These other pieces of our identity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And my marketing manager has told me for some time, you've got to share that part. People want to see that.
Yeah.
And I've just given pushback, but. I'm happy I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people don't really have context yet for what that means.
Yeah.
But take us back to that December when all of a sudden, like you clearly had a moment, and the moment for you was a new show.
Yeah.
So maybe for the listeners that are if they haven't checked you out on, they've seen you at Summit, they've seen you January Leads, like we get you up on stage as often as we can. For the people that don't know you, you've been selling real estate for 6 years. You built this mega team. You were pretty early on video. Mm-hmm. You're like kind of my guy when I'm like, I got an idea, and I'm like, where's Phil Gerdes? Because I know he'll shoot this, right? What kind of content were you creating before December? And so for context, then what happened afterwards?
Yeah. So before December, it was very much just core real estate content. Some of it was, adding humor and things like that, but it was very much core real estate content. What's happening right now, whether
market updates, listing videos, around town,
things like
that.
Yeah, exactly.
But why did we say that so like blah? Because it was good.
Because it was the missing pieces, right? So like those were all there, but there were missing pieces of me that I wasn't giving out to the world. And if you're looking to gain connections, then you really need to be true to who you are, because that's what people are going to connect with. Right.
That's what they end up knowing, liking, and trusting. They'll say, hey, can you help us?
Yeah.
Right. So what was the missing piece for you? And then what is it that you added, and what was the result?
The short of it is heart, right? Just really being willing to share my heart, because there's this motivational side of me that I really very intentionally kept out of the real estate world. And like I said, my marketing manager has been pushing me to just release that part. And as hard as she's pushing, I was pushing back tenfold, right? But then I came to this event and I watched and listened and took part in this conversation, this high level video influencer conversation. And it dawned on me, like I had this general idea. I write a journal and I don't write a long diary. I just write 1-2 sentences. And I never shared it with anyone. I mean, I didn't share it with anyone. And then I just said, you know what? I think I should start releasing this. I think these would be great videos if I was ever willing to open up on the motivational side, right? That passion, that connection. So I started sending the journal to people, and they were like, wow, this is great. And then I came to this event, and then it all opened up, and conversations happened, and then it turned into this idea that Glenda had. You should
shout out to Glenda Baker.
Shout out to Glenda.
I'm a real estate agent from Atlanta, Georgia.
Exactly. Oh, my stars and stripes. But it turned into what is now rated PG. And that is literally me reading my journal entry and then just being thrown back into the space I was where I wrote it, and then sort of reflecting on it. And I tell people comment and call me and they're like, Phil, man, that was great. Thank you so much. And I'm like, dude, that was for me.
Right.
Like that was just my way of getting through that and releasing it. And the nice thing is it helps other people too.
Right. So give us an example of rated PG. Like what's an example of something from your diary and then how would you frame it in a message? Because this sounds like nothing to do with real estate.
It It almost isn't. It almost has nothing to do with real estate, except for the idea that when I'm walking down the street, people are yelling out of their car now in my town. Hey, I saw you rated PG today. It's amazing.
What's that like?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is something special.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it because I know that it's not just this. This isn't about like fan stuff. This is about, I saw it. It helped me.
You touched people.
Yeah, exactly.
You touched people. Yeah.
So that's what it is. I mean, I could pull out a journal entry now, but I like off the top of my head, I don't know. Where you are, there you are.
Yeah.
Right. So like that could be an entry, but it's not just a saying for me. It's a time, a moment where I may have
emotional element
there's
to
that
it,
connection.
right?
Like
Yes.
what were you lost in that moment?
Yeah.
Right. And just center yourself where you are, there you are. How do you connect with the exact thing you're doing and give yourself permission to actually be 100%, as you say, unapologetically there.
Yes.
Right. So that's just a small way of doing that. Now, and then you turn it, well, how does it connect with real estate? Well, if you're a real estate agent, I would argue a statement like that has a huge connection because, in this field, we're all over the place all the time. And then the people that really deserve us, like our family, we tend to not give them every part of us because we're so busy.
Yeah.
So a journal entry like that helps me just center. Like when my son says, Dad, you want to 1v1 me on the basketball court? Absolutely. And I'm going to leave my cell phone inside.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I love it. So, I mean, because I put out a lot of content where it's like, hey, it's me and my mother-in-law doing doing like a TikTok or something. Yeah. And she's 94 and it's funny how a lot of people talk about like, don't get your kids involved, don't get your family involved. And it's a choice, right? To do that, to not do that. Like I always had my kids on stage. Yep. I wanted to show them, this is what daddy does. This is what it means to build a business. This is what it means to love on your clients. Yeah. I wanted them to understand that. What do you want people to understand as you're putting out this kind of content?
I'm a person. And the thing, selling real estate, sometimes people look at it from the outside and they're like, it's just like black and white. And then much of it is contracts, things like that, processes, systems. But the other side is not black and white at all. It's what the person selling or buying is actually feeling, the stress, the pain, the uncertainty, the excitement, the wonder, the curiosity. And if you're pretending that you're just this black and white contract person, you're missing the mark. Like people need to know you are a human being that goes through things. And you might have a lot of followers, but you're still in it. Right. You're still going through the same stuff they are. Last year we renovated a 6,500 square foot house, like literally took the thing down to the exterior walls. That was stressful.
That's fun.
No,
I'm kidding.
Right. Yeah. But so that was that was a time where, in my life, there were more arguments. There were more questions. There were more like what ifs. There was a ton of crazy excitement during the big milestone moments. Right. But the house took over that year while building a business, while being there for my wife, while being there for my kids. Right. So I think it's important that people know, like, you want to buy a construction? Well, not only do I know about how you're going to do the construction, but I know all the things you're going to feel. Yeah. And do you need a therapist also? Because you're going to need a therapist. You're going to need one. Yeah. And I don't want to be it. So
Yes, exactly. So going back to that December, and literally we're having another mastermind right now with a bunch of the original crew, and everybody's sort of talking about the changes, the adaptation, the adjustments, a lot of kudos to, mutual friends for what they've accomplished. You were really strong on TikTok prior to this, right?
No, not at all. I was putting out content. I was, but my follower count was exactly 2,708.
How'd you get that big?
That was, killed it. Yeah. And I know some people are like, wow, that's a lot, but it wasn't.
Were you resistant to it? Like, did you have because some people are just like, oh, TikTok, they're like 11-year-olds, like those people are going to buy a house. Clearly they have Dr. Glenda Baker and everybody else is like killing on TikTok. But was there resistance to it, or did you just not have a show you felt that was worthy of it?
I was everywhere. I wasn't resistant. I wasn't. Okay. I was resistant, believe it or not, to Instagram when it came out.
Really?
I really, really was. Okay. But TikTok, I said, well, I literally had this conversation. I said, I'm not doing that again. Yeah. No. So I just started throwing things out there, but really, who was I talking to? Yeah. I knew the importance of a tribe, but for some weird reason, when it came to TikTok, I wasn't talking to my tribe at all. I was just like, throw it on the wall. Maybe it'll stick. Yeah. See. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was different now? Because we're all in this kind of group chat and literally like my first video over 1 million views and everybody's like, whoa, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So how How many videos was it in? Was it intentional? Did you just get lucky with the algorithm? Because that's the beauty of TikTok, right? Sometimes you just get lucky.
Something's hit.
Talk to us tactically. Like if I wanted to replicate some of your success, what are some of the moves, the plays that I would run to make that happen?
So as soon as I left, we were just talking about it. I had an emergency meeting.
Yeah.
I had all of my staff, my entire media
What do you mean
team
emergency meeting?
with my company.
Okay.
Right. So
coming out of the last December.
last December mastermind.
Emergency meeting.
Yes.
That's one way to scare you. Don't ever go to a Tom Ferry event again. No more emergency meetings.
So it's funny, when I was coming here, one of my agents said, "Oh, the staff's going to hate you when you get back because you're going to have all these things," which I always do. I'm inspired.
Right.
So I love my staff. Like these guys on a Sunday with 1 day's notice said, "All right, we'll be at your house."
Yeah.
They don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So that
That's
meant
culture,
a lot.
man. That's culture. That's community. That's connection.
It's like a family.
I'm looking at my team, right? You all listening? What are you guys doing on Sunday? Here we go.
Exactly. See ya.
So what took place at that emergency meeting?
We just talked about what we're doing. And the idea, like our mission this year is to be the new standard, right?
Yeah.
It's just where everyone strives for 10, we start at 10. So what are we currently doing? And then how do we now take that to a starting point of 10?
Yeah.
And then when we get there, now what do we do? Because
level 11.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, so we broke things down and built plans and systems and talked about things. And I had pages and pages of notes. But the nice thing was they were like bringing in, oh no, this should be this and this could be this. And
so a collaborative meeting. Let me tell you what we're doing next.
Exactly.
So what was the tactical things you did differently? And was it just on TikTok or did you spread that love everywhere?
We spread it everywhere across. Actually, it wasn't even just video. It was across our systems as a whole, as a company, right? And then when it came to TikTok, Instagram, things like that, we just looked at the videos we were shooting. We looked at the videos I was resistant to shooting. Like, I mean, Rated PG is literally a video I've been resistant to shooting. Right. We looked at how we're going to do it. Like for now, everything we do is now batch shot. Now you've said it forever, right? Yeah. But it was more like, okay, we're going to shoot a video. Let's just shoot it. Yeah. Now it's batch shot. Like here's 6 hours. We're going to shoot 40 videos and that's it. Like dig in. Right. And what I've learned, so my marketing manager and my videographer, they have learned me more because shooting these, like this is real for me. Yeah. And now it's like a video will end and my videographer, he'll be like, whoa. Like he'll step back. That was real. Yeah. So tactically it was figure out what we are going to do, right? Not how, just what are we going to do? Not what do we want? Do you mean like a plan for a show? What kind of content? Who is the audience? Do you mean like that? Or what do you mean? I mean, not so much what the plan is yet, but who are we talking to? Yeah. And how will we, and what will we do to talk to them? Yes. Right. After we figured out that and we were in agreement, like this is who we want to speak to, then this is what we want to share. How are we actually going to do it now? Yeah. What's the system behind it that is actually going to make this work? And who's responsible for it? Single throat to choke, right? Yeah. Like what's the timelines, everything. Yeah. But then also, can we commit to it? Like, is this a one-hit wonder? Right. Yeah, right. Like, are we truly going to be committed to it? Do we have to replace this with something else? Yep. Something else has to take the back burner. What other projects? So true like scoping project management, which is brilliant. Yeah. And now I love it because I keep talking about my marketing manager, but I don't even know when we're shooting Rated PGs. Yeah. She just sends me, hey, next week, Tuesday, it's all day, you know, and I love that. So it takes away the pressure of me having, we just revamp things, but it's not sitting on my shoulders alone. So, and is Rated PG always a journal entry? Every single one, a journal entry. Do you find yourself, I have a book somewhere around here, The War of Art. Have you read that book yet? No, I will. We have to check that out. Because as a fellow creator, so the war of art versus the art of war, right? Yep. The war of art is, it's as a creator, we run into this hallucination called writer's block. Yep. The keyword is we run into a hallucination. I don't know what else to talk about, right? Which is so silly because all you have to do is just ask people, what should I be talking about? Or go on and like, who's got a question, right? Yeah. But the whole book is like, how do you move beyond that barrier? And one of the most important elements is writers have to write. Yeah. Videographers have to shoot videos. Like you have to like put in those reps over and over and over. I'll get you the book. I got copies of it here. No, don't worry about it. I was showing you. Like, let's go. Are you writing all the time? I'm writing all the time. My journal right here, I write the day and I just write the message. See, it's so perfect. And that's how I stay out of the writer's block. Bingo. Because writers got to write. You got to always be like, you be in your car walking out of an appointment and going, I just got my butt kicked, right?
Okay, what's the thought here?
Yes.
Bam,
Put it
right?
down.
And that becomes a PG. All right.
Yeah, because if I wait till the end of the day to do it, one, I'm not going to do it. Yeah. And two, if I do it, it's not the same thing it was.
You lose the emotion.
Yes,
the emotion of what's so real, because when you anchor to that emotion and then you go back to that moment, you're like, oh man, or like elated in joy, right? Or like feeling the resistance of business in life, and how do I keep it like
exactly
that's what I think that's what people are connecting with.
I agree.
So what's it like walking down the street and having people literally go, dude, I watch it. You know, like, what's that like?
It's cool.
How's your wife reacting to it?
She doesn't want anything to do with it.
That's my wife.
There is a
thing.
reason you do not see my wife on camera. She loves being a great wife and a great mom.
Yeah.
And our CEO, our CFO, COO, but
that's so funny. You and I are the same exact thing. Like my wife's like, just you do you, I'll just manage the money.
That's it. Exactly.
I'm like, all right, I'm your puppet. Okay, I got it. This is cool.
I don't know like how to get to my money. She manages everything. I love it. Yes. It's stress free.
Your wife and I both have accounts in Switzerland. That's what I'm hearing. Yes.
But so she very much just stays in her lane. Our beauty, I met my wife when I was 14. She was 13. Like the beauty of our relationship is we understand where we're great and we do everything we can to stay in that lane. Sometimes we fall out, but we do what we can to stay in those lanes. But so she doesn't want anything to do with it. My kids, you'll start seeing them more. You know, I remember
seeing them early.
I used to do a lot with them. And now, you know, they went through this phase where they're kind of growing a little more, finding their way. So you'll start seeing me pull them in a little more. But what I'm really excited because of this rated PG perspective that we took. We're going to release something new, but it's all about real estate. Yeah. But it's not just, and there's nothing wrong with it. I used to do like, here's a topic. Like, did you know, blah, 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 right?
Right.
But now it's going to be that real estate moment. I'm writing it like a journal entry. So now I will release a real estate version of Rated PG that's just, this was the entry in that moment. This is what happened. This is the behind the scene thought. This is how we got through it. This is how the client got through it. So I'm pumped about that.
So I want to know from the audience. So do me a favor, give us a comment here, you know, is there something that you have been holding back and not sharing in terms of content? And you don't have to share in the comments like what that is, but I'm just like, give us a yes or a no. Like, you know, hey, am I truly sharing my whole self, or am I kind of holding back, trying to be as professional as possible? And I'm not mocking that. Like that's usually what I hear from people, right? Similar to your situation.
We talked about it.
I want to know that, and make sure you check out Phil's YouTube channel, check him out on Instagram, check him out on TikTok, do all that stuff as well. All right. So has it worked?
Yes.
How do you know it's worked?
The numbers, like the math works. So Instagram, we came here with 14,000 followers, and Jason was saying earlier, he pointed out, it was not like people hear 14,000 and they're like, well, that's great. It was a very stagnant for several years, 14,000 followers. It jumped to over 21,000, right? So 6,000 plus. TikTok, however, went from exactly 2,708 to now over 103,000 followers. Wow. And it was like, wow, just a massive hit. Yes. And I would argue that the consistency of the posts were huge. The type of content was huge. People seeing a true self was huge. Right. And you know, and then we take that and we transfer it to how do you convert it into your field. But I think that while conversion into the field is important, the purpose of the video is more important. The touch, like what was your connection? We talked about it. So
I was thinking back to Brad McCollum in that meeting in December. I was like, I'm killing Mindset Monday. And he was like, what? don't kill it. He's like, that's the one that speaks to my heart. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess we'll keep doing Mindset. You remember that? Like I was like, I literally had it on the cut board.
I watch Mindset Monday when I work out.
I appreciate that. But like, that's part of my intention. Is like, I want to touch people in that way. That has nothing to do with like how to grow your team and how to make more money and how to do more deals, but just like trying, get people's mindset right. That's what so much of what I see you doing. Yeah. And for me, it's inspiring to watch, right?
Thank you.
Because I know you and we've hung out, right? So it's I'm like, oh, look my guy, like he's killing right now. So we're going to totally go a different direction just for a second. Maryland state laws says you can't build a team
you have to be an agent for 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Right. So you were chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
And I think you may be one of the only people I know that like on the day, 3 into one day, you were like 14 people on the team.
Yes.
Right. Like you went real quick, real fast, high level, just being mindful of time on this show. Yep. Share the 3 biggest mistakes. If someone was looking to build a team, what are the 3 mistakes they got to avoid?
A little bit more down the line where I am now, thinking that
Go early stage.
Okay, so early stage, what is it called when you're like doing everything for someone?
You're doing everything for someone.
So yeah, you can call that, right?
Yes.
So just overdoing it.
Yeah.
Like I want to teach, I want to help, I want to protect.
Yep.
But the curse to that is, are you empowering?
Yes.
Right. And that's something I admittedly did.
So did you do the work for them, or did you hand them the work and then micromanage the shit out of them?
Hand them the work, micromanage the shit out of them. Before you send it, let me see. Before this, let me see.
Yeah. It's like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Now do good work.
Yeah. But deep down inside, I trust you. Yes. I just don't know how to show you that I do. Yeah. Right. So I think that was.
How did you get over that?
Pain. Realizing how bad that hurts them.
Yes.
And their growth and their ability. Yes. Because the truth is their ability to do the thing is there. Their belief in themselves is not. And that's my fault. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You actually installed that, which is pretty tragic.
Yeah.
So number 1 is trust and let people essentially let them make mistakes. That's how people get better, right? That's how you got to be PG. Yeah. What was mistake number 2?
Mistake number 2, setting too low of goals. I would say that for me, the goals that I set, I hit. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, that was a terrible decision.
Yeah, that was a to-do list, not a goal. Goal's something you gotta strive for, right? It's not like, hey, we're going to the moon. Like,
like if we, So setting goal, and you hear things like this all the time, but the reality is my first year, 36 units, that tells me I absolutely could have done 45.
100%.
Yeah, it's just, I just didn't. Yeah. Right. So setting too low of goals for me, and then not helping my team set strong enough goals initially to really show them their strength, their power. Yeah. Right. And that can be a spirit of lack. That could be fear. That can be a lot of different reasons, but ultimately being really conscious of, this is my goal, build out the plan and trust it. Just do the work. Right. We talked like last time, confidence is earned by doing the work. Yes. Right. So I would say that's number 2.
Okay. What was number 3?
Number 3, still on the early side, right?
Yeah.
Not having an assistant day 1.
What do you mean? You had a team. You didn't have an assistant?
I didn't have a team. Oh, you mean from having a team? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going early. Forgive me. Okay. So then not hiring all the appropriate staff from day 1. Yeah. So likely when people have a team, they're having an assistant. Yes. But do you really see the value? And then they go, you're the marketing director, transaction coordinator, listing launcher, and my runner, and the person's like, they can't do anything really effectively. Yes. And then you get frustrated and you're still working till 11 o'clock at night. Exactly. So having the people in place to actually get you where you want to be. I think that when you start a team, you have this idea of what it's going to be like. And a lot of people just live in the idea of what it's going to be like, as opposed to, this is the plan of how we're going to get to what it's going to be like. Right. And don't be scared to spend the money on the plan. Right. You know, if you're in a position like me, first of all, Tom, I didn't know that you had to be a real estate agent for 3 years before you could have a team. I literally walked in and was like, I'm starting a team. My broker was like, no, you're not. You're like, what do you mean? Exactly. Yeah. So what did that do for me? It gave me 3 years to make sure that financially I was prepared. Right. Secure. Everything already had systems in place, already getting organized. You were building towards what you wanted. Exactly. Right. So when the switch hit, agents were there, staff was there. And then if I'll do like a 3A, fire people. Yeah. Like if it's not working, you are hurting yourself and them by not just letting them go. And fire is a hard word, but the reality is, like, I can love you on your way out and I can love you when you're out. We don't have to be enemies. Yeah. Like, let's just it just didn't work here. It just didn't work. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. I want you to be happy. You're not happy here. I'm not happy here. Let's make a change. Let's make a change. And then when I see you, let's be friends. Love it. Yeah. Love it. All right. Lots of value on this show. So Phil, what's the best place for them to follow you? Is it Phil Gerdes everywhere? It's at Phil Gerdes everywhere. And then on Instagram, we do have a team TikTok, would be the Gerdes team. Yeah. Love it, man. Instagram team TikTok. We have a team Instagram at the Gerdes team. Yes. There you go. So. All right. So, hey guys, make sure you like, subscribe, share this, give us more comments. Always. We're always looking to bring you more value from people like Phil. Phil, thank you so much for being on the show, man. Let's jump back in the mastermind. Let's do it. Thank you. All right, guys, we're out.